Day 179 out of the cut. I do feel more mentally alert and wakeful than when I walked in the gym yesterday, but I'm also much hungrier because Justin took more carbs in the diet. So it is currently like 4:15 and I've only had 25 grams of carbs so far today. So it's a good thing we're getting better at training while hungry because it is overhead day 1 week and I am looking to crank. I'm aware that this is more of a high incline press than a true overhead, but this angle works better for bench carryover, I swear. And loading plan for today is set of 5 at 185, set of 3 at 205, then that 1 plus set at 225. I'm pretty damn excited to put 2 plates overhead because it's been at least a little while since we've gotten to do that. And plates feeling good enough that we're just going to go straight to that 185. Kind of similar to what I was talking about the bench day. Can 100% tell that the triceps work is working because it's like I just flexed my triceps and the bar floats. Also very glad that I was finally not lazy enough to get the ELITEFTS Iron Cowboy bar out, because even if the weights are very light, like the whip on a standard power bar was enough to notice last week. Anyways, work set number 1 here. Two plates, gonna be fun when we get there. And what's kind of annoying is, like yesterday, walked in feeling freaking dead, and as I was pulling, like I was able to wake up more and more and more and more. Every set I've done here, I felt a little bit more asleep. So just gotta do a better job of waking up for this one so we can make that top set good. Maybe not super awake, but at least moved like we're kind of awake. And with that optional AMRAP at the top set, what I'm thinking is that my best ever as a fat guy with 2 plates is 13. So we're gonna see if we can get as close to that as possible. Just saying that got the juices flowing a little more, so big crank here. Definitely lost count there, so I'm gonna have to watch the tape back before I get too excited. Holy freaking shit, counted right, 14 reps with 225, which part of me disbelief, but the fact that it happens tells me 2 things. Number 1, all of the other overhead focus stuff that I have been cranking on is freaking working. And first I need to record that set in the team program app just so I remember that I actually did that, because I am still in so much disbelief. But for a scattered brain asshole like myself, it is so freaking nice to not only have all my programming on my phone, but be able to record and track everything and have super easy access to previous PRs, just so I don't have to dig through a notebook again. And I know I am pumping the team all the time, but that's only because I am so proud of what we're doing with it and how good everyone in there is doing, because not only are you getting top tier programming that we're going to help you customize to fit your needs, you're getting individualized coaching on every single thing that you're doing. So if you're in there, you're doing the work, you got no choice but to get better. But the other thing that's telling me is that even if bench isn't showing super strong right now, I know that my overhead is a very good indicator of bench potential. And it's like overhead press versus bench press for me. Overhead is a lot less leverage dependent, and I've been struggling with the bench levers. So all I really need to do is just keep on keeping on with bench, keep figuring out how to pull into more upper back tension when I'm not fat, and strength should come back based on where that overhead is right now. Anyways, we went 245 on the sucker last week, so goal is to beat that, because driving up the littler stuff is what's going to give me the base to drive up that bigger stuff. because I think having the team, being a coach, one of my biggest responsibilities with that is to lead by example, which means we're gonna freaking crank 255. Boo, 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 boo. And that wasn't enough of a crank, so we're gonna go up. So we're going 275 because I really want to hit a bench PR this year. Boo, 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 boo. This thing is so terrifying to rock, but am very okay with that. Yeah, I'm like, where's the hole? Where's the hole? And I mean, with how that felt, it is week 3 of the wave, so we're gonna go up. I was saying on the podcast, my biggest tell on whether or not a powerlifting coach is worth a shit is whether or not they know how to push their accessories. So we're cranking. Boo!
Easy work.
Boo!
Come on.
Boo!
Throw more in the tank.
Boo!
A little more.
Boo!
Lock out.
I think we're closer to that 3-plate target than I thought we were a couple weeks ago. Need to give myself something to be a little bit pissed off for that set, but definitely worked. And on that note, I figure time to stop being a pansy on dips. Bodyweight feeler set first, though. Figuring 50 pounds will be a nice conservative start point. More nervous for this than I should be, but again, I do want to bench a PR this year. This mount was unideal, but pretty stoked with how she felt. And goal for number 2 here is to see if we can smooth her out a little and push a little bit deeper into that range of motion. Yeah, we're definitely going to keep loading these because that was fun. And the Triceps machine that I love to hate is currently being swarmed by, well, a swarm of high schoolers. So, going to give Cole lift off here and then run some JM presses on incline. Good. Good. Yep. Good. This is the sketchiest bench to spot on of all time, FYI. And I mean, like, this isn't going to be a perfect sub, but it's going to be close enough to get the job done. That unrack is so low for the grip width on JMs. But the reason I like JMs on incline is it's a little bit easier to not let your elbows drop, and therefore it's a little bit easier to make it a whole lot of triceps. And this slot is supposed to be pretty freaking cranked, but considering that I haven't done JMs on an incline in a while, gonna take a somewhat conservative jump here. Figuring 205 should be good for work set number 1. Okay, 205. If this doesn't suck, we'll go up. We're going up. Okay, 2 plates, giving her a rip. I'm stoked with that. And I mean, like, I probably don't want to run 2 GM slots per week indefinitely, but for now, it is fun. And as usual, gonna couple the shittier tricep slot with a little squeezier one, going for that same roll intent on the rope so we can get more of that shoulder extension, intro rotation finish because it feels nice in my shoulders. And I mean, this also feels nice in my triceps, so we're in a crank. Probably need to put more weight on, so I'll do a couple more and then we'll do that. And topic on the podcast that we ran today was Travis was getting some shit about needing to be more concerned about his level of fatigue that he's getting from triceps pushdowns. And like my response to that is, if you're worried about fatigue on triceps pushdowns, like you probably got bigger shit to worry about in your life. Adequate effort. Because if you are getting way too smashed from pushing your accessory work appropriately, the solution isn't to push your accessory work less appropriately. The solution is to just suck it up and get in better shape. On that note, went up again for this set. And if you're a powerlifter that doesn't push your accessories because you think accessories are boring, if you start pushing your accessories harder, they're going to get more fun. And the problem with my favorite side delt raise machine in here is that it's freaking awesome, so it's also everyone else's favorite side delt raise machine, which is why we're on this guy, which kind of sucks because it's terribly hard, but that's probably going to be good for me, so yeah. We're going up. Okay, let's make this not too terrible. Wasn't sure if I'd get that last rep, but glad I went for it. And as usual, after a really gross first set, goal is to have not that much fall off for number 2. And I mean, I'd know if I didn't have fall off on number 2 if I could count, because I didn't count reps on either of those. Either way, I think I gotta remember that this thing actually feels pretty damn decent and start using it more often. And I figure I should grow some balls today and hop back on the grossest pec deck machine in history for my extra pec touching slot, because this thing just feels terrible, like terrible because it's so difficult. Which means that if we make it less terrible and get stronger at it, our pecs should be stronger. gonna be adventurous and go up for set number 2. Kind of terrified, but also excited. This is just over half the stack, which means I do not want to meet the guy that can do the full stack on here and make it clean. Because holy freaking shit. I mean, I should probably start aspiring to be that guy so we can bench more. That got very aggressive feeling. And I don't know, like, I almost want to go back to the strength edge just so I can try the pec that was giving me so much trouble post-surgery to see how much better it is. Because, like, progressing on that, I'm so far from the bottom, but it has gotten so much better since the first time we ever touched that sucker. In the home stretch now, so we're back over here for some face pulling. Because last week we discovered that in addition to being absolutely magical on rows, this thing is also magical for face pulls. Just because you can, like, max out the amount of upper back round, like, I'm literally trying to just, like, let the upper back fold as much as I can and trying to pull myself into extension, driving the head back, driving the scaps low, and we're just lighting up the whole upper back. I do wish that, like, the cable was a little shorter, like the pulley was further away from me so I could get longer on the rope, but the roundness is worth the trade-off. And when I figured out how to do face pulls like this was actually way back in 2015 when I first transitioned from raw over to multiply, because going from, you know, a 700-pound raw squat to having to stabilize 900 plus in my back, like my upper back just wasn't in good enough shape to be able to pull everything together on the backside. I was just like crumpling anytime I got near anything that was hard in multiply equipment. And I'm getting really good at face pulls with this kind of round in the bottom and then extend to the top intent is what got my upper back in shape so I could actually be a kind of decent multiply squatter. I do freaking love this machine for that though, because it's so easy just to right over. And I really like those face pulls for getting better at pulling everything back and together on the squat bar. But if we're trying to get better at pulling the squat bar down into our upper back and locking in our lats, one of my favorite things to run is a behind the neck pull down where we're shoving our ass underneath the thigh pad. Then we're going to lean forward at the hip so we can pull the bar down without having to round through the rib cage, keeping the rib cage nice and tall. Then we just pull straight down into where we're going to be holding the squat bar. Try to hold for a pause, and during that pause, want to pay attention to the feeling that we're getting in our upper back, and that is the feeling that I'm trying to recreate when I'm wedging into a squat. Bringing these back in because that feeling's been missing a little bit the last couple weeks. Gonna go up a little bit for the next one. And goal here with the step and loading is to minimize the shittiness as best as we can. I'm like really trying to do my best to keep my head packed back like I want under the squat bar when I'm doing these. Squats better, feel better this weekend. And now for my least favorite part of the training session, but arms aren't going to grow themselves, so we got to start doing something about it. Like, we're going to eventually take the shirt off and unveil my muscles, like, sometime soon here. Like, I got to show the end results of the cut, and when I do that, I want to make sure the arms aren't too frail looking, you know? So, we'll crank. Gonna just get some on the righty, then go up. And this machine feels phenomenal, FYI. Like, it's a little old, little ratty looking, but Strength curve is sick. Giant ass squeeze. Doesn't feel sketchy in the bottom, so I am a fan. And the big advantage of running this unilateral is not anything to do with imbalances. Like, it just means that I can go back and forth and change arms. And when I'm doing my left arm, like my right arm's resting. When I'm doing my right arm, my left arm's resting. And that way I get to save a little bit of time. That got challenging. So, round two. Embrace the pump. And the amount of fall off between set one and set two on here kind of tells me that I just got to keep getting my biceps in better shape because nothing else is falling off quite this hard. Man, oh man. And continuing the trend of not being a pansy in hopes that we could have a half decent squat on Saturday, got ourselves a cute little kettlebell. So we start loading the GHR sit-ups. Oh, that feels so much harder than I want it to. That's what she said. Like, I'm afraid to commit to putting it behind my head. Just getting more and more over my face as I go. But that position where the squat brace is missing feels freaking vulnerable on me, so that is a sign that we gotta start bringing more rectus abdominis back into the picture. Oh, this is pathetic. But if I want it to be less embarrassing, we gotta make it stronger. Holy. Actually am going to film the second set of ab work today as proof that I did it, because gotta set that example, right? I don't know if you guys remember when I first started cranking on the oblique stuff, like I talked about how it became apparent that obliques really were a deficiency, and I would keep prioritizing obliques until it became apparent that I needed more rectus abdominis. And I mean, this is proof that I need more rectus abdominis because this is sad. Was not expecting this much of a fall off on it, to be honest. But I think it probably comes back to the injury I had in 2022 where I actually ripped the left side off my pelvis, so maybe it's going to fall off faster than anticipated. We got to get that better. But I mean, that's why we're doing it. I know so many lifters want to get discouraged when stuff isn't moving the way that I want it to, or if we program an accessory and it ends up being really, 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 really freaking hard, and it just like makes them go like, shit, I'm bad at this. Like, and they want to panic and think that it's not good and they want to avoid the thing. But if we can flip our mindset to realize that, like, hey, if we realize that we suck at this exercise and then we make that exercise better, like, main lift is going to go up. And that is the principle that I base pretty much all of my programming off of, because if we can make the thing that's holding back the lift stronger and stronger and stronger, it's going to stop holding back the lift. And once it's done holding back the lift, like, there's going to be more layers to this and there's going to be more figuring out to do. But if we can keep chipping away at that most immediate need over and over again, and then adjusting what we're doing as the shape of the lift changes, like, that's how we unlock endless progress. And that's kind of the biggest thing I'm trying to teach you these vlogs is I am trying to strategically pick the best movements for me in the moment. And obviously, as this cut's progressed, as things have started coming back, like, what I need has changed, but the principles that I'm operating on have stayed the same, because I'm just trying to find the shit that I suck at, get better at it, bring it up, and then when something else needs more work, then I just dig in and work on that. And that's kind of the whole reason why shit is starting to finally click again. Not figuring out the levers is because I've laid that groundwork to let the shit click again on the barbell. But that's what I got for tonight, guys. Don't be afraid of digging into the stuff that you suck at. Peace out. Have a good night. Thank you for watching. See you in the team. That outro was a little bit rough, but I really don't feel like filming it again.